All right, I have a new piece out on Substack. I've been working on a book, so I'm not revealing the title yet. I'm just calling it Work in Progress. And the excerpt that I'm reproducing here, or publishing, is called Part 1 on God, which is only the first half of this section. And I'll read the first couple of paragraphs. And here's the great chain of being with the three worlds that goes way, way back in the Hermetic tradition. This was inherited by John Dee, and he used this diagram to divide up the three worlds, the elemental world, or Malkut, as it's known in Kabbalah, and then the astral world, the astrological Anima Mundi world, and then the world of the Empyrean, that is to say the world of the angels, seraphim, cherubim, thrones, and so forth. So I'll read the first couple of paragraphs, but I want you to subscribe. My Substack is $5 a month, and I'll keep publishing excerpts from my book. I've written quite a bit of it here. This is just a small piece. If there's interest, it depends on the response. So, what God is. God, as it turns out, is a real being, a being who actually exists and has survived every attempt to dismantle it. Nietzsche's enunciation, countering Gabriel's enunciation to Mary of the birth of God, that God is dead, refers only to the Christian God, not the much greater being which exists beyond the Judeo-Christian Islamic mask of God. That being of beings can never be touched by criticism or analysis of no matter what sort of deconstructionist cleverness. God exists beyond Derrida. The Judeo-Christian cosmology of the Old Testament has suffered one dismantling blow after the next. The earth is not a flat disk that was created in 4004 BC by a bearded old rabbi floating around in the cosmic ether. Copernicus in 1543 set the Earth into its proper orbit around the Sun, while Galileo, Kepler, and Newton in the 16th and 17th centuries constructed the laws of cosmic motion, of inertia, of falling bodies, and all the rest. James Hutton in the 18th century and then Charles Lyell in the early 19th created the geological canvas upon which the Earth was thought to have been transformed over millions, and not thousands of years, now currently billions of years, while Darwin and Alfred Russel Wallace in the mid-19th century articulated the laws of biological evolution through natural selection. Life has evolved. It was not simply created all at once as a gigantic chain of arborescent being. Max Planck in the early 20th century, meanwhile, figured out the laws of quanta, while Einstein showed us that space is actually curved and that the speed of light is the ultimate speed than which nothing may move faster. The universe, as it turns out, is very much larger than the dusty, wandering Hebrews of the time of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and Joseph ever suspected. It is also very much more ancient. There is no room in any of this for a quaint little desert god, an invisible god of camel-driving nomads who knew very little science and not much history, let alone geocosmic history. That god is indeed dead. But that god was, of course, a cosmological fiction. The actual God is something far greater and more mysterious. Let's discuss this being, shall we? All right, I'll leave it there. And if you want to read the rest of the piece, and these will be appearing regularly from now on, it's $5 a month, and I'll put the link into my Substack in the description box below. Keep in mind that I still do astrology readings. If you're interested in those, hit me up at johndavidebert@gmail.com.